I've seen a lot of posts online lately about the plant hardiness zone map. Folks are asking, what was it? Should they use it? And how do they find their zone? Let me share some research with you that I recently did on the plant hardiness zone map. Hi, I'm Elise. I'm glad you stopped by. I can't get outside today. Just a little under the weather, and you'll hear it in my throat. My apologies. So I pulled out my great big dinosaur desktop computer with this great big monitor. And I've got some maps pulled up that we're going to look at. First, folks are always asking, where is my plant hardiness zone? So let me share with you how to find that. Extremely easy. Go to your computer, go to any browser, and just type in plant hardiness zones. Put your city, your state, your postal code, whatever. Okay, I put 90210. We're kind of familiar with that from the TV show that used to be on. Beverly Hills, California is in hardiness zones 10A, 10B, and 11A. Yes, cities can have more than one zone. States can have multiple zones. But that's how easy it is to find it. If you don't want to put your zip code in, you can put in this name of the city. Let's say Nashville, Tennessee. It's in 7A. And this nice little source even tells you when to start your seedlings. That's how easy it is. What we're looking at here is an interactive map from the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. Everything I am sharing with you is about the United States. Other countries can have their own maps which may or may not use the same numeric value that we use. You would have to hold the maps side by side and compare them. But this is an interactive map. It's kind of neat to play with. You can zone in on smaller places. You can go here and put your zip code in and find it. Lots of fun. You know, this is a fantastic project if you have school kids or college kids who need a project to do. Really neat. Okay. What is it? The map is a tool for gardeners to use to see if they can plant plants in certain areas based on cold weather. Based on cold weather. That's so you don't buy a plant, spend your money, your time, your effort trying to grow that plant, and it won't survive and won't thrive in the cold weather of where you are at. That's how simple it is on the surface. Now, how do they get this really pretty, colorful map? All across the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, are just hundreds and hundreds of recording data points of cold weather. They take all those points, they average them out over a certain period of time, then they go back and they assign values for certain areas. We get a color value and we get a matching numeric value. Right now, the legend starts at 1A and goes to 13B, with 1A being the coldest, which is here in Alaska, and 13B is in Puerto Rico. Then we have it all in between. The map is based on average minimum winter temperature. It is divided into 10 degrees. Zone 1A and 1B is 10 degrees. It's broken out farther into 5-degree Fahrenheit increments. So 1A is 5 degrees different than 1B, but they make up that 10-degree Fahrenheit increment. Supposedly they are going to start making the maps closer together. This original map, the 2012 map, was based on a 30-year period. With all that is going on in our planet today, we need maps a little closer. So let's look at this one. This is April 30th, 2021. It is a USDA map, United States Department of Agriculture. And it was put together by Prism Climate Group at Oregon State University. Now this map isn't interactive, but it is kind of neat. If you were to hold this map up to the other one, you would see some difference. There are many maps out there based on heat, cold, rain, sleet, hail, wind. So you can play with all those maps and pin down your area if that's what you like to do. Do you have to use them? No, not at all. Should you use it? That's entirely up to you. I would think, though, if you move to a new area, yes, the first thing you want to do is find out what planting zone you're in. So you can get used to what plants will grow in that zone. Or if you get some new plants in you've never grown before, do some research on that plant, see what it likes. Then look around your landscape and see if you have an area in your landscape that matches what it likes and plant it there. It's called microclimates. What you can grow in your backyard, you may not grow in your front yard. What you grow on the south side of your house, you may not be able to grow on the north side or the east side or the west side. Microclimates are very important. So do your research on your plant and see what it likes. Full sun, full shade, moist soil, dry soil, wind protection or not. Microclimates, folks. So if you move to a new area, find your planting zone. Then take a walk outside and see what's there. See what's thriving. Walk around your neighborhood and see what's in people's yards. Walk around your city and see what is thriving. Observation is extremely important, because it's going to be the area that you are actually in right at that moment. Okay. Little history. The first U.S. map only had 8 hardiness zones. Can you imagine? The whole United States, only 8 zones. It was compiled by Arnold Arboretum, a Dr. Alfred Rader, 1927, almost 100 years ago. The second map, 1938, by Dr. Donald Wyman, also of the same Arboretum. And then after that, maps were made, organizations made maps. 1960, the USDA made their own map, but they didn't work in cooperation with the existing maps. The criteria was different. Nobody liked it, nobody used it. 1990, the USDA worked with the U.S. National Arboretum, and they updated the maps, and that's what we're using today. So this map is from 2021, which is pretty current. Let me show you something kind of neat. If you look here at this salmon color, in Central Florida, same thing as in Louisiana, same thing as in Texas, same thing as in California. Okay, they're all warm areas. You can understand that. But you go up to Oregon, which most people consider a cold state. I know I do. And on the coastline, they have the same planting zone. So people in Oregon who live on the coastline can plant the same plants that these other people do in tropical, subtropical areas. That's how important the lay of the land is. The maps don't break down the lay of a land in great detail because it changes. If you live in a city that's glass, brick, pavement, no trees, you're going to be completely different planting areas if you go 30 miles in either direction and you're in the country with trees, with water. You may be in the same USDA planting zone, but your own personal planting area can be drastically different. So the map doesn't always take in the complete lay of the land. It also doesn't take in the duration of cold. What if you have a once in a decade cold spell tremendously cold that lasts for a month, that is just going to skew all the averages up. It doesn't take to affect acclimation of plants. A plant can acclimate after a while. Maybe you put a plant in, you have a couple of warm weathers, it grows, it produces generations, it's doing fine. Now, it's not going to help it if all of a sudden you have one of those really disastrous cold spells, which is probably going to take everything out. So, the map doesn't take into real consideration the duration of cold weather, the acclimation of plants, the complete lay of the land, microclimates in your own landscape. And another big thing it was not taking into effect for a while was climate change. Now it is. So if you look at a map compared to a current map compared to an older map, you will see the difference based on climate change. All right. Now you can play around with all this. You can put all kind of areas in here. You can do places in Paris or Austria or anything like that. It's fun to play with. So, should you use it? Up to you. Great tool. It really is. It's not written in stone. It is a general suggestion. And I see it that I need to take it as a general suggestion. I think it's more important to understand your landscape, your microclimate, your area. You can find maps broken down by states. Once in a while, you can even find them by counties for cold weather. What did people do before they had the maps? They talked to each other. Neighbor told neighbor, relative told relative. They wrote journals. They wrote pamphlets. They wrote books. They wrote letters. Uncle Joe wrote Aunt Bessie and said, "Hey, my plant so-and-so died. Did yours live?" Aunt Bessie writes back, "Well, yeah, it did. But I planted it under that great big oak tree that Papa planted. It's doing fine." Talk to people about what's going on in their landscape. Were they successful in growing a plant? Observation is still more important than a map that says so-and-so. Take the map as a general suggestion. Use it as a general suggestion. That's it. I hope this is something now that has helped you a little bit. You know how to find your zone. Again, just go to any browser, type in your zip code, or type in your city and state. It's going to pull it up immediately. Call your library, call your agricultural extension agency, go to a local nursery, ask your neighbor. Very easy. And then it's up to you if you want to use it. Until we speak again, have a fantastic day.